right, so we have a Kickstarter unboxing here from All Play, as you can see, and this is a game that I have been very much waiting in anticipation for. Super excited about this game, and that is Fromage from Road to Infamy Games. This is all about cheese making. I've been very high on this game since I got to give it a try during Gen Con of last year. Also, I am a huge fan of Road to Infamy Games, so everything they've been coming out with, I just have seemed to just really hit for me, and this is kind of that next level game. They're used to maybe those welcoming games or maybe some next step games. This one, I think, is one of their heavier games that they've done, and it's by the designer that did Search for Planet X, and I believe there's another one. I can't remember. I apologize. But as soon as this got delivered today, I was extremely excited about it. So let's go ahead and bust this open. If you're not familiar with Fromage, this is a worker placement game, and it also has a number of different puzzles that you're going to be working. So this is a rotating board, and you are going to have a different kind of puzzle for each wedge that you are going to be seated in front of, and you're going to have a really unique way of worker placement. So I'm excited to bust this one open. I did get the limited edition version of this game. Let's see what's in this little envelope real quick. This is the assembly for the Lazy Susan, which is special for the limited edition, if I remember right. So I'm going to keep that. This is a nice little, shows you how to put that together. And here we go. This is a pretty quick game too, actually. Plays in about 45 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. And as you can see, I like the way this rule book is laid out with plenty of imagery. Very clean. It's not like just huge blocks of text. I like having examples for the different venues that you're going to be seeing while you're playing. And this is very much a point salad-like game where everything that you do, you're going to be generating lots of points at the end. But I really like just the way this is laid out. And here we have our solo mode, as well as your structure abilities that are going to be on the back here. And I like the nice component list. So very excited with that. They did include this as well, which was just some cheeses that go with each of their games and game pairings for cheese pairings for games, I guess I should say, which is just funny and interesting. Here you're going to have your center board where you're going to put your workers that are going to determine how many resources you're going to get. We have our score sheet here. Some baggies. These are going to be some different structures that you're going to be building. Pop out real nicely. And they have, I like that, where it has it kind of written out in the back so you don't have to go searching through the rule book. That's a really nice touch. If you ever have those abilities, I think that's really highly appreciated there. Here we have some different punch outs. Here is going to be each individual player boards. I really like the look of this. Really like the artwork. That's nice. And then you have your corporation for like solo mode, that kind of stuff. All right. This does look a little bit different from last time when I played it in prototype form. So I'm really curious to see what changes they've made. I know they were, even when I got to try it out, there were a lot of things that weren't final then, which makes sense. But these here, if you're curious what these are going to be the little wedges. So you have your board here, right? And I'll get to that in a second. But these slide into each wedge of the board, and depending on the number of players, you're going to use a specific side of certain ones. So if you play with 3 players or 4 players, you'll use specific ones, and you'll slide those into these. So that is really nice. There you have your first 1 and 2 player, 3 player, 4 player, and you can have it like, it looks like you can change it up a little bit. Maybe that, or it's the same on both sides. Might be, no, looks like it's different on both sides, on either side. So it's a nice little variety that it adds there. All right, here we have some nice wooden components. So let's take these out. Here you're going to have some berries, because as you are, what goes great with cheese is sometimes jams and jellies and berries and such. So you're going to have these as resources that you're going to be getting. So I won't open up all of those, but I do like that they have different types of berries, which is cool. So you get your strawberries, looks like maybe some grapes and maybe some raspberries as well. But I like the nice thickness to those wooden components. Here are going to be some different buildings that you're going to be constructing, giving you access to those abilities and whatnot. So they have different kinds of buildings in each bag. So you might have like little silos, but it just gives you some different looks to it, which is cool. They don't do anything different. It's not like specific buildings, but they just give you different looks for them. And that little wooden wedge there, I'm going to assume is for the Lazy Susan. We have our different animals, which I think this is the part that looks a little different from what I remember. Here we have some different animals, I think, for the different kinds of milk. So you have like goat's milk, maybe sheep's milk, and some cow's milk that you're going to be having. And I think you'll be keeping track of those here. Before, when I played it, there was a track, so they definitely updated that from when I last saw the game. But that's what those are for. And you'll get, as you get more of these, I think you get more benefits as well. So we have that. Let's go ahead and I'm going to slide some of this stuff off to the side as I get to the main board here. So I'm going to grab my little knife here to pop this open. These are wood. In the limited edition here, this is wooden. So this board is wooden, and it does come with a little play mat there to help with the Lazy Susan and being able to slide, since you will be rotating the board after every single turn. And the way that these work is that they, like I said, you'll slot in, you have these little slots, and let's see if I can find a map real quick. So like this, you'll just slide it in real quick, like so. And then these will be the different spots that you'll see on the board, right? And so as you are building these out, these clip together. Obviously, it'll be a lot easier when I put it flat, but they lay together really easily like little puzzle pieces. Real nice there. So you'll have, you'll be making different cheeses. As you can see, there's going to be different, like the yellow cheese, the silver cheese. You're going to have hard cheeses, soft cheeses, blue cheeses that you're going to be working for. I think if this works the same way, this is a bit of a area control majority type puzzle here. This is where you're going to be looking to make certain cheeses. So sometimes they want cheeses with jams or with honey. And then as well as some... I've noticed those are already pre-printed. That's cool. And so then here also you have like some different combinations. So if you look at the silvers and the gold and the bronze looking ones, there was a little bit of like connecting cheeses together, and depending on the color of the tents, you get points for them. If I remember right, it's been a while. Same thing here. You're going to get points based on the different kinds of plates that you get covered up, if I remember correctly. So I could be wrong if they made changes, but just to kind of give you a little bit of overview of what I remember. We have here the play mats that it will sit on, which I love that it fits in the box. That's great. Whenever I can get a playmat that fits in the box, board will sit right there. You already saw the little wooden disc, and it'll be able to spin real easy. So I'm excited about that. And then the game trays, which are going to help immensely for setup and teardown, where you're going to have your different cheeses that you're making. So everybody's going to have their own player colors and the different cheeses. So we'll pop one of these open real quick that you're going to be making. They're nice wooden cheeses. And when you're making these cheeses, what you're doing is you have to place a worker on them, and I'll have to assemble these. But the way that it works, that I'm super fascinated about with this game, and these are plastic. So the way these work, these will clip in together. I'll make sure I do the right color before I do it. I'm assuming that. But what you do is when you go to make a cheese, you have to put your worker on top of that cheese, right? Like this. And then as the worker goes around on the board, depending on where you put them and how you place them, it will take longer for that worker to return to you. So let me do this real quick. I think this might be okay. We'll see. So you have your worker here, right? And the way it's going to work is that depending on, let's say I made a blue cheese here, right? And I covered them up. Now that wouldn't work. Let's say I did it here because it has to be a soft cheese since I'm using my soft cheese worker. So you have specific workers that make specific cheeses. And so as this board is rotating clockwise, you have to wait until that worker is back facing you in order to get it back. So the higher scoring cheeses and whatnot are going to last longer, or you're going to go without that worker for longer. But I really like that concept that as the board is rotating, you won't get that worker back until it's facing you. And so that's a really cool concept that I really like that I haven't seen in other games. And I know this isn't a rules overview. I'm just really excited for this game, and I'm really excited for other people to get to play it and experience it. And this came perfectly because we have a game night tomorrow with Nick and Vic, so we're excited about that. And then one last thing I'll show you here are the cards. These are because you're going to have orders that you can fulfill in the game, and so it has all these different cheeses that you're going to be working towards and trying to make. And so you're also going to have that's going to help you score points as well. So there's not a whole lot to do a reboxing of here, but I'm going to go ahead and get this set up and see if I can give it a play tonight and go from there. But really excited about this one. Let me know what you guys think. If there's any anticipation, this is Fromage from Road to Infamy Games. Yeah, and have fun gaming.